Maya Mile took over my dream home and painted it white while we were gone. Should I kick her out? I'm a 28-year-old woman, married for 3 years to my husband who's 30. Before marriage, I actually owned my own house. Not just any house, but one that I built from scratch, piece by piece, with my own hard-earned money and a little inheritance that came my way. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath home with this cozy in-law suite out back, a separate 1-bedroom, 1-bath little house that's perfect for guests or family. Now, a bit of backstory about me. I didn't have the easiest start in life. I was kicked out by my own mother when I was 16. Honestly, it felt like she just didn't want me around. No real explanation, just, you don't belong here. Since then, I had to grow up fast. I started working at 14, saving every penny I could. By the time I turned 22, I had managed to buy a decent piece of land. Actually, it was a 10-acre plot that I inherited from my late grandfather, along with about $600,000. With that, and years of saving, I built what I consider my dream home. The house itself is kind of a reflection of me, whimsical, colorful, and unique. It's got this cottagecore vibe mixed with a bit of hobbit hole coziness, sprinkled with dark academia aesthetics. I'm a painter, so I went all out with the details. Little fox families painted on the walls, floral patterns framing the doorways. Every inch of the house has a story or a little piece of my soul in it. It's my sanctuary. When I got married, my husband fell in love with the house right away. He's not much of a decorator or artist, but he appreciates the vibe and the warmth it brings. We moved in together with our 4 cats, and it was honestly a dream come true. The house was our happy place, a refuge where we could be ourselves without any outside judgments. All right, so fast forward a bit to the current setup. My husband and I don't have any kids, but we do have 4 cats, basically our fur babies. They're a big part of our lives, and honestly, a lot of responsibility. The house, with all its quirks and personality, feels just right for us and our little family. About a year ago, something major happened in my husband's family. His mom lost her husband, my father-in-law, and it was a pretty rough time for her. She's been struggling financially ever since, buried under debt, and just trying to get by. We wanted to help, so when she asked if she could move into the in-law suite in the backyard, we said yes without hesitation. It seemed like the right thing to do, giving her a safe, private space while she sorted things out. The suite is completely separate from the main house. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, a little kitchenette. It's got its own entrance and everything. We made it clear that the suite was her space and that the main house was ours. For a while, everything was fine. She kept to herself, lived in the suite, and we had our boundaries. We still saw her regularly and helped where we could, but it felt like a healthy arrangement. She seemed to appreciate having a place to stay without pressure. I won't lie, though, there were moments when she made some offhand comments about the house, calling it childish or immature because of all the bright colors and whimsical decorations. I brushed it off because everyone has different tastes, right? And as long as she stayed out of our way, I figured it was fine. Then, my husband and I decided to take a vacation, something we hadn't done in a while. We found a great spot and planned to be gone for 2 weeks. Since we had 4 cats to look after, I asked a trusted friend from work, someone who really loves animals, to be our pet sitter. She knows the cats well, and I trusted her completely to take good care of them while we were gone. At first, everything was smooth, but about 4 days into our trip, my friend called me in a panic. So here's where things get seriously messed up. About 4 days into our vacation, I got a call from my friend, the pet sitter. She sounded frantic, and honestly, I could tell something was wrong just from her tone. She told me that while she was checking on the cats that morning, she noticed something strange going on at the house. My mother-in-law had shown up early, fed the cats, watered them, and played with them for a bit. That part was fine. Seemed like she was just being helpful. But then, later that same day, my friend discovered that my mother-in-law had hired painters. Yes, actual painters. And not for the in-law suite where she lives, but for the main house. The living room, the front hallway, the office, and the kitchen, all of them had been painted without our permission, without even telling us. Now, here's the kicker. The painters started early in the morning and didn't finish until around 8 hours later. My mother-in-law came back after work and apparently stayed to watch the painters finish the job. When my friend went to check on the cats again, she found that 3 of the cats were locked inside the connected garage. The garage is attached to the house, but isn't air-conditioned, and it was at least 80 degrees Fahrenheit that day. The 4th cat? Missing. No one could find her anywhere in or around the property. I was absolutely shocked and furious. This wasn't just crossing a boundary. It was basically bulldozing right over it. My husband was livid when I told him. He couldn't believe she'd have the audacity to go into our home. Our home, and completely change it while we weren't there. To make matters worse, we talked about boundaries with her before. She knew the main house was off limits, that the in-law suite was her space, and that she was not to mess with the rest of the house. We never, ever gave her the green light to hire painters or change anything about the main house. Plus, she made snide remarks about how she thought the house looked childish and immature, but she never once said anything about wanting to repaint or redecorate. Honestly, it feels like a huge betrayal. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into building that house, from the original design down to every tiny painted detail that makes it feel like me. And now it's been altered without my consent. The way my mother-in-law just barged in and made those decisions for us is more than disrespectful. It's invasive. And I'm worried about the cats, especially the one that went missing during this chaos. We've been trying to figure out what happened to her, but no luck so far. We're still on vacation, trying to figure out what to do next. My husband's insisting that we should evict her immediately. He says this is a massive breach of trust and boundaries. I want to come home early, confront her, and put an end to this, but part of me wonders if I'm overreacting. Maybe I should just be grateful she took care of the cats and thought the house needed a refresh. Reddit, I honestly don't know what to think right now. Am I being too harsh? Or is this as messed up as it feels? So yeah, after hearing what my friend told me and seeing photos she sent, my husband and I were absolutely furious. Honestly, I can't even begin to describe the feeling of betrayal. This was our home, a place we built from the ground up, filled with personal touches and memories, and suddenly it's been changed without even a heads up. My husband was livid. He called it a massive boundary violation and was quick to say that maybe it's time to just evict her. I mean, I get it. We had agreed that she'd live in the in-law suite and respect our privacy. Instead, she waltzed right into the main house, hired painters, and completely altered the place without asking. It's not just about the paint. It's about respect and trust. I, on the other hand, felt a mix of anger, hurt, and confusion. I'd already been through a lot growing up, having been kicked out by my own mother at 16. This home was more than just a place to live. It was my sanctuary, my achievement, and my peace. It's where I feel safe and happy. And now that peace feels shattered. What makes it even worse is that she's made these comments before about how childish or immature the house looks. She never came to me with those concerns or asked if she could make changes. Instead, she just acted behind our backs. That feels like a direct slap in the face. On top of that, the cats, my babies, were treated terribly. 3 of them locked in a hot garage, and 1 completely missing for days now. The garage isn't meant to be a living space. It's cramped, unventilated, and hot as hell. I can't stop worrying about them. I trusted my mother-in-law to respect their well-being too, but clearly that wasn't the case. I've been struggling with whether I'm overreacting or not. Am I being too harsh? Should I just be grateful she looked after the cats in the morning and even thought the house needed some updating? I'm honestly not great at navigating social dynamics or conflict, so I'm second-guessing myself a lot right now. But every time I think about how she violated my home, my boundaries, and my trust, it feels like there's no excuse for this behavior. So here I am, stuck in this limbo, while still on vacation, trying to decide whether to cut it short and deal with the situation head-on or wait until we get back and then handle it more calmly. My husband is firmly on the side of immediate eviction and confrontation, but I'm worried about the fallout, family drama, tension, and possibly losing what little relationship we have with her. Reddit, I'm honestly lost. Is this situation as messed up as I think? Am I justified in wanting to kick her out? Or should I be more understanding and try to find some middle ground? I really need some outside perspective on this because I don't want to ruin family relations, but I also can't just let my home be disrespected like this. So here I am, finally sharing all this because honestly, I need some perspective. I've been going over and over the situation in my head, replaying every moment, every detail. And while I'm hurt and angry, part of me still wonders if I'm being the bad guy here. Look, I get that my mother-in-law is going through a rough time. She lost her husband, is drowning in debt, and probably feels like she's lost a lot of control over her life. Maybe in her mind, repainting the house was her way of making a fresh start, trying to fix something to make things better or more appealing. But here's the thing, it's not her house. It's mine. My husband and I built it. Every corner, every brushstroke, every little detail reflects us, our personalities, our dreams, and our efforts. And to have someone waltz in unannounced and just decide to paint over all that without asking, it's a huge violation. Plus, the fact that she locked the cats in the garage, where it was hot and uncomfortable, and one of them went missing, that feels negligent at best. The cats aren't just pets, they're family to us. I trusted her to respect them and the house. I'm seriously torn because I want to be compassionate. I want to understand where she's coming from. But I also know there are lines that shouldn't be crossed. Boundaries that protect our personal space and dignity. So I'm putting out there to Reddit, AITA, for wanting to tell my mother-in-law to get out of my house. Am I wrong for feeling like this is a serious breach and wanting to take action? Or should I just let it slide because she's family and going through a hard time? I'm open to advice, especially on how to handle this with as little drama as possible, but still protect what's ours. I want to be firm but fair. I don't want to lose my home or my peace, but I also don't want to burn bridges unnecessarily. Thanks in advance for hearing me out.